is going to be watching for me. Good morning. Welcome to the 2022 fifth grade DARE graduation ceremony. At this time, I ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Again, good morning to the guests who are in person. It's nice to see everyone here. We finally get to have our families back after a 2-year absence. And to those of you watching live on stream and those who are watching this program later, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to honor a very special group of students who have completed their DARE requirements and are graduating from DARE class today. At this time, I'd like to thank some special people who have helped make this possible. First of all, I'd like to thank the fifth grade teachers, Mrs. Balsizer, Mrs. Henry, Mrs. Boyce, Mrs. Salyer, Mrs. Davies, and Mrs. McCullough. Those teachers have helped organize the students, have given up class time, their classrooms for Deputy Stutz to come in and do DARE this semester and in previous years. So without their help, today could not have been possible. So thank you very much. Let's give a big hand to our teaching staff. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. Kaufman, our superintendent, Mr. Elkert, our treasurer, who 5 years ago helped get the grant, secure the grant to have Deputy Stutz come into Lakota on a full-time basis and start the DARE program. And their continued cooperation has allowed the program, Deputy Stutz, to be in our school, keeping our students and staff safe. So I thank both those two gentlemen at this time. Dr. Kaufman and Mr. Elkert are on the side if you want to give them a big wave. A big round of applause as well. Also, I'd like to thank our office staff, Mrs. Guyman, Mrs. Jacko, and Mrs. Freeborn, who helped answer doors this morning. Mrs. Freeborn, who typed up the programs and helped get me organized. I can't thank them enough for their help. If we can give them a round of applause as well. Like I said, as the last 5 years have gone by, the DARE program has turned into a very important program for our students. As you know, especially after the pandemic, the cases of opioid addiction, drug and alcohol addiction has become almost threefold in our community. And the aim of the DARE program is to teach students responsibility, how to recognize those type of dangers. And Deputy Stutz works very hard to ensure that our students have that education so that they know what a lifelong consequence of getting into drugs and alcohol can do, especially to students in the fifth grade. So we are very appreciative of that, especially as students are coming into middle school and they're exposed to those things. Also, Deputy Stutz, as part of the DARE program, helped me organize our cyber citizenship presentation a couple weeks ago, and our fifth graders did an awesome job. And I think they learned a lot about the dangers of social media and all of the possibilities that are out there. So again, without Deputy Stutz and his DARE program, our students would definitely be behind the curve, and I can't thank him enough for everything he's done. So at this time, without further ado, I would like to bring Deputy Stutz up to say a few words and to also introduce our other special guests that we have here today. So let's give a big round of applause to Deputy Stutz.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? LAK. LAK. That's what I like to hear. So for the parents that I see here, thank you for coming. Some may not know me, but my name is Deputy Matthew Stutz. I've been the SRO here at Lakota for 5 years. I've been in law enforcement for 22. I want to thank Chief Deputy Hastings and Sheriff Hilton for being here because I am no longer the oldest deputy in the building. So thank you guys. Appreciate it. I would like to also thank Lakota Local Schools, the board, for having me here at the school. It's a privilege to work here. So I thank Dr. Kaufman and all the administrative staff for having me here. They're more than accommodating to work with. They even help us do trainings here for our local deputies to make sure and ensure that the students are safe. I will also, last year I forgot to thank, but I want to thank the state of Ohio for the Ohio Drug Education Grant. Without these grants, I'm not here. And without the state of Ohio Attorney General's office helping us, small departments, we need and rely on these grants to be here at the rural schools. So thank you for the state of Ohio, and also additionally for all the security grants. I work with Mr. Elkert and Dr. Kaufman to get more security grants and more money going in the schools to ensure everyone's safety here. Fifth graders, thank you for your participation. What another half COVID protocol year, half not. So I tried to install some other fun stuff this year. They participated. You guys did whatever I asked you to do. DARE is about safe and responsible decision making. Safe and responsible decision making. I told you day one, the most important thing that I really rely on, it's called integrity. We went about it day one, doing the right thing when no one's watching, right? Remember me saying that? I'll say it the first day, and I'll say it the last day. Do the right thing when nobody's watching. If your teachers can trust you, if your parents can trust you, if Sheriff Hilton and I can trust you, Mr. Flanagan can trust you, you're going to go a long ways in life, okay? So thank you, fifth grade, for your participation. Also thank the fifth grade teachers for the time, especially Mrs. Davies. I don't know where she went. Thank you so much. We invaded her classroom 4 different times this year, fall and spring semester, and that's kind of like their study time too, so I appreciate her allowing me to come into the classroom. I got to thank Mr. Flanagan. He actually is going to be leaving us, and he is going to a different position next year. I came into the school with Mr. Flanagan, and I didn't know what to say. That's Mr. Flanagan. I don't know. But he has been fantastic to work for. I can't say enough nice things about the guy. He is actually now, other than a colleague, a very good friend of mine, and I wish him nothing but the best in his new position, and we'll definitely miss you here. So thank you, Mr. Flanagan. And I'm still upset, by the way. And last but certainly not least, I want to introduce the next guest speaker. He is Sheriff Hilton. He's my boss, and I'm proud to work for him. In law enforcement, it's tough now. It's tough nowadays. But the men and women of Dusty County Sheriff's Office, we get up every morning, we put that badge on, we put it on with pride, and we do it with integrity as well. Practice what you preach. So Sheriff Hilton has been fantastic to work for, and here he is. Sheriff Hilton, thank you.
Good morning. I'm not going to do any more of the thank yous other than to thank Dr. Kaufman and the staff and everybody here for prioritizing having Deputy Stutz here at the school. I'm going to ask a couple quick questions, tell one story, and then I'm done. Anybody in here want to do this job someday? Raise your hand. Deputy Stutz, you've done good. It's never too early for us to start recruiting. Okay, we were just talking about that with Mr. Lento about trying to find good police officers and football coaches and teachers, and it's like people don't want to do this stuff anymore. I have the greatest job there is, and I'm sure Deputy Stutz has probably told you that. I love what I do every day. I've been doing this 27 years. It's a long time. So I say that I've been doing it a long time. I've been a part of the DARE program for my entire career. That's why I prioritize this, why I think it's important. I was actually on my way out here driving with the chief deputy, and I was thinking about my very first DARE class that I taught back in 1996. And those kids now are 37 years old, and they still call me Officer Hilton. So I will tell you, Deputy Stutz, you've made an impression. And if you made an impression when these guys, how old are you guys, 11, 10? When you're 37, if you see him and you still call him Deputy Stutz, that means he did what he was supposed to do every day and he was here. And I hope you guys remember him that way. It makes me very proud and very humble when I have a 37-year-old grown person come up to me and still say, hey, Officer Hilton, I remember you and you were my dare officer. I had such a good time. So I'm hoping that he made that kind of impression on you guys as well. Without further ado, we'll get to your graduation ceremony. I appreciate seeing all the faces because last year we didn't see any faces, and this is wonderful.
Okay, at this time, students, I'm going to have you exit up the ramp and line up in alphabetical order like we practiced yesterday. Deputy Stutz is actually going to read the names today, and I'm going to hand out the awards. Remember who you were lined up with yesterday, and when we call your name, please come forward.
Okay, Carmen Albert. Olivia Aldrich. Caitlin Allen. Andrea Baker. Chloe Bartholow. Blake Beckley. Shelby Biddle. Gary Bomia Thomas. Bradley Bowes. Caleb Brubaker. Phoenix Bryan. Kennedy Chatlin. Tessa Crook. Elena Doust. Reed Elkert. Autumn Gilbert. Leanna Graber. Celeste Hardy. Austin Harmon. Ava Harner. Peyton Harrison. Braden Himberg. Lily Hope. Caden Hurley. Charlie Jack. Jaden Jenkins. Balin Kieran. Ruger Kelbley. Emma Kimmett. Jameson Krupp. Micah Lanals. Hannah Lindrell LaBoy. Estrella Leal. Katie Leiter. Presley LeMay. Eddie Lento. Zeke Lay. Paxton Little. Madison Long. Cherokee Lope. Trey Martin. Maggie Maxwell. Jackson Moore-Gray. Weston Notenstein. Christopher Muhammad. Quentin Obunga. Jose Perez. Hudson Prenslin. Braylon Reddick. Avery Reinbold. Grace Reinhardt. Lane Reinhardt. Colin Ross. Kendall Shaw. Lillian Schilling. Kaylee Sweeney. Miles Terrace. Bradley Thomas. Troy Thomas. Alyssa Tody, excuse me. Ashton Tody. Bryn Ward. Luke Ward. Praylin Weber. Kaylin Weller. Delicia Whitcar. Ethan Weekman. Ethan Wilcott. Aubriana Wyant. Vivian Wyant. And Lee Zaker. All right, how about a round of applause for our graduates?
Okay, students, I have a homework assignment for you. You didn't think you'd have homework. Those certificates that you just received, your job is to get them home tonight. Show mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, and uncle who's at home. Get that put on your refrigerator. Parents love that, so you got to get that home safely, okay? Let's give our DARE graduates one last round of applause. Again, I'd like to thank all of the parents, both here in person and online, for taking time out of their day to come and join us in our celebration. Dr. Kaufman, Mr. Elkert, Sheriff Hilton, Deputy Stutz, all our last round of applause. Thank you for all of their help as well. Give everyone one last round of applause. That concludes our 2022 DARE graduation ceremony. Students, thank you very much for your cooperation. Once we are done with our live stream, students, stay in your seat until I get the cut signal from Mr. Clark. When we are all set with that, students, we're going to invite you up on stage and we're going to get a couple of class pictures. Parents, you're welcome to come up and get pictures as well, individual pictures if you would like. Students, you can just leave your certificates on the table and collect them on the way out. So again, thank you all for coming and making our 2022 DARE graduation ceremony a success. Thank you very much.